Well, here comes one of those very rare Uncle Lou was wrong videos. Texas is going to be complete garbage this year. I don't know what I was thinking. I've spent all offseason trying to talk myself into hyping Texas up and thinking that they were going to have a good season. And I still think the possibility existed, past tense, existed for them to have a good season, but not after this past weekend. The last week for Texas has been the worst week Texas has had since the week they lost to Kansas last year. Texas held their first scrimmage of fall camp this past weekend, and it could not have gone any worse. The only bright spot, really, that you can find anywhere from anybody, even the rainbow and unicorn Texas fans, is that the defense looked a little better maybe than they thought it would, which is good news because Texas didn't even have a defense last year. Everything else is horrible. Texas is thin to start with in certain positions, offensive line being the main one. Texas was already in a position heading into 2022 where they were going to have to start true freshmen on the offensive line, at least one, maybe two. And now their most veteran starting offensive lineman is out for the year. And this is horrible news. No one likes injuries anytime they happen or anytime they occur to anybody. A star player, an average starter, a backup, a walk-on. I mean, at the end of the day, these are college students. Nobody, and I mean nobody, wants any of these players to get injured. But this is the one position on Texas roster where they just can't afford this. A fifth or sixth-year senior starting tackle gone for the year with a knee. So now you're probably in a situation where you're definitely starting multiple true freshman offensive linemen. Now, Texas recruiting class last year was really, really good. And the main reason it was really, really good was how well they recruited along the offensive line. It don't matter. You don't want to be starting offensive linemen as freshmen if you can help it or avoid it. Very, very, very few offensive linemen are ready to start in Power 5 level football first year out of high school. It is extremely rare. Horrible news. Texas's number 2 wide receiver, a starting wide receiver, gone. Knee, out for the year. Now you still have, what's his name, Xavier Worthy or Xavier Worthy, whatever his name is. He's great. But the number 2 wide receiver, now gone for the year with a knee. Your number 2 running back, not gone for the year, but expected to miss significant time, into the season. Probably the Alabama game at least, which is week 2, right? And what might be the worst news overall for Texas as a team, it looks like Quinn Ewers isn't good enough to start. It looks like Hudson Card is QB1. Now, we've still got a couple of weeks to go, and Lord knows things can change in terms of rosters and starting assignments and things like that. But at this last weekend's scrimmage, you can read around. If I can remember, I'll put the article up. Hudson Card was not only the starting QB, but looked better than Quinn Ewers. And this is bad news because anybody that had an optimistic view of Texas for 2022, myself included, was basing that optimism on the assumption that Quinn Ewers was going to live up to the hype. And it doesn't look like that's the case, at least not for this year. Hudson Card this is the same Hudson Card that started the season for Texas last year, was getting humiliated in a game against Arkansas, got benched in favor of Casey Thompson, and that was the last we ever saw of whatever Hudson Card is supposed to be. In comes Quinn Ewers. Casey Thompson transferred out to Nebraska. Quinn Ewers comes in. He's the savior, all-world, everything QB from the state of Texas 2 cycles ago. Enrolls at Ohio State to the tune of $1 million. That's right. Quinn Ewers, a con artist, got Ohio State to pay him $1 million. He enrolled at Ohio State, rode the bench for the entire year, then transferred out to Texas. And everybody is thinking he's going to be the guy. And unless something changes in the next couple of weeks, He ain't the guy. In my opinion, with Hudson Card, forget the injuries I just talked about. Again, starting offensive tackle, gone for the year. Number 2 wide receiver, gone for the year. Number 2 running back, out for an extended period of time. Maybe not the whole year, but maybe the first month of the season. 3 injuries to starters in this weekend's scrimmage. Forget all that. Even if that hadn't happened. If the only thing I would have heard from this weekend's Texas scrimmage is that apparently Hudson Card is better than Quinn Ewers, that would have been cause for concern for idiots like me. I picked Texas to go 10-2. 10-2! That's not happening. That's not happening. Now, there's nothing I can do about my prediction. Once I make my predictions, that's it. If I'm right, I'm right. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I can't wait till the season is over and everybody can troll me about how wrong I was on Texas. Look, I've been doing this for years. I'm used to it. I wouldn't put out prediction videos if being wrong hurt my feelings. So, but there's no way. Forget it. Forget it. Texas was looking at a 7 or 8 win season max now, in my opinion. This is just, now some people are going to say, well, they were a 7 or 8 win team before these injuries, Lou. Now they're a 4-win team. I'm not even going to argue with you. Hell, you might be right. I don't know, but this is horrible news for the Shorthorn. And look, this is in danger of having to stay this way for another entire year. I'm not turning that helmet right side way until Texas beats Kansas. Sorry, that's what it is. The Shorthorn is staying upside down until Texas beats Kansas. I still think this Texas team can beat Kansas, but my God, man, I don't think it would have been possible for Texas to have a worse weekend than they had. Starting again, think about how thin Texas offensive line is, at least in terms of experience. I know about the freshmen. I know about that, and that is great next year and the year after. If you're heading into a season relying on 2 or 3 true freshman offensive linemen to get you to the Big 12 title game, and you got one of the worst defenses in the Big 12, and now your number 2 wide receiver's out for the year, forget it. It's not happening. It's not happening. Look, still mad. Was I mad a week ago when I said Texas was going to go 10-2? I'm trying to figure you people out. I say something you don't like about Texas, and I'm just an idiot, and I'm still mad that Texas beat Georgia in a meaningless bowl game 4 years ago. I mean, never mind the fact that Georgia's currently sitting on a national championship. That's right, Shorthorn. Georgia is currently your national champion. But I'm still just mad about that anytime I say something bad about Texas. But when I make a prediction video saying Texas is going 10-2, you idiots want to give me an honorary degree. I wipe my ass with a Texas degree.